At the bottom right of the map, we have the player in a 1-0 lead in this best-of-3 series. It is the Terran player for CJ Entus. It is
CJ Entus Bbyong.
Oh, we could hear that fan club to the left of us.
Yeah. I certainly did.
Yeah, how couldn't you, man? They are like nothing. It's like, what? Top right, though, we have the one Zerg player. A lot of people show their... I actually lost my train of thought. Wolf, take over.
All right, this guy has been called the god and the creator of the universe. He is perhaps the most famous StarCraft 2 player of all time. He is...
HIM NesTea.
Thanks for saving me there. I had something awesome in my head, and then suddenly when I started talking, it just disappeared.
Yeah, sometimes that happens.
It was gone. I was like, okay, before I do a halfway decent job and completely embarrass this guy, I would rather have a really good interview by you.
And, you know, NesTea is a player, like I said, this is kind of like the old versus the new of StarCraft 2. NesTea, somewhat well-known StarCraft 1 2v2 player using the ID Bbyong, and when he came over to StarCraft 2, nobody really knew how well he was going to play. I remember when doing Liquid Bets, I'm like, who is Bbyong? I'm like, I'm pretty sure I've heard that name before. Then he won GSL, taking out Marine King, won multiple GSLs, took out his teammate Lucira, for example. This guy is a top-notch StarCraft 2 player, but you know, he's been falling off. Is he going to hang on here? He's a very old pro gamer as well.
Look at the horrible win rate on Whirlwind for him.
Yeah.
0 wins and 2 losses.
His
that
opponent, man, is 100% win rate on this map.
Yeah. Maybe not the biggest sample size, but yeah. Only one game.
We have double hatch before pool and extra drones. There's the pool going down now at 18.
And, well, on this map, you can definitely do that. It's a bit risky, of course, but this is a big map, and usually what you see in a big map is the Terran player trying to go for a very early expansion. Everyone likes to do that. So it's a map where you can definitely take that risk, and ST is just taking risks. He's a champion, and he knows that sometimes you have to do it.
Yeah, you do have to do that, and I think this is the best choice for him to do. He probably had this plan. No matter what happened in Game 1, on Game number 2 on this map, I am going to take double hatch before pool, and he just executed the plan.
Yep. And he also is a little bit lucky, because Bbyong scouts the bottom left, no NesTea there, scouts the top left, no NesTea, and the last position that he really scouts is the top right, and then he will see, well, 1 base, 2 base, 3 base, and he's like, what?
Yeah, he's like, this isn't a Dr. Seuss book, this is actually StarCraft 2.
Yeah.
But NesTea is going to be able to see that command center first, so that's going to make him feel really happy. He's like, alright, build order versus build order. I get ahead with this build. There's nothing you can really do to pressure me in. Wow, did he not see that?
No, he didn't. The creep was just not there yet. A second later and he would have seen the creep.
Yeah, and the Lings come down here. And actually, just seeing these Lings like this doesn't really tell him. The lack of Queen, he might notice that. It's hard to say if he could really tell that.
No way. No way that he knows. I cannot believe that he has any idea that there's a third base just from what he scouted.
Yeah, the Queen could have just been hidden anyways, so he can't conclude that 100%.
And he didn't really get in with the SCV all that deep, so NesTea did an awesome job here at the ramp when he blocked that SCV several times.
Yeah.
Like a little bit of a stutter move.
People are really figuring out how to do that. I've noticed that Pro S players are getting better at keeping their Zealot on the ramp to make sure they get 2 hits on the SCV before the SCV gets away.
Yeah, if you don't go for minute walk from the beginning.
Yep. If you don't, then you're just going to lose it, for sure. These 2 Lings see the command center, he confirms it, not going to poke at the SCVs with the bunker being there, but just a very nice attempt at scouting. He only made 2 Lings this entire time. They've already been extremely worth it. He saw the command center, he verified that. He also was able to kill the SCV, the scout. He's looking great in this game number 2.
Yeah, playing things a little bit greedy, but on a very calculated level.
Yep.
It's just, he takes a calculated risk. He's like, yes, I know if you go for any kind of early game aggression, I will most likely die to it, but this is just the risk that I will roll with. I'm going for the 2 bases before my pool, and then only the 2 Lings, and I will drone up hard. And he is able to put him in a spot where Bbyong is now just looking at what he scouted, and he's like, okay, well, I know where he starts, he has his expansion, everything's normal. Yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
So far, so good.
NesTea is droning like a ton.
Yeah.
I mean, I He's actually going up to 60 drones right now. Before we're even at 8 minutes, he's going to have them. That's crazy.
5 queens, and the queens are all that he has to defend his bases. And he actually saturates all 3 bases already. Sometimes you will see Zerg players just sticking with 2. So these Hellions are going to be a bit of a problem, but there are only 2 of them, so it's not going to be too bad, or at least it shouldn't be.
Yeah, he's going to maybe lose 3 drones here. Oh, nice micro splitting by NesTea though. Only losing 1 so far. There's the second one. And a good split here. He does lose a few more. In total, losing 4 drones, but
yeah,
that's okay considering the drone lead he already has, and he starts 14 drones. What? He's not even going to make any more lings. He's got 13 lings on the map, and he's totally fine with that.
NesTea's like, okay, when you're being attacked, build more drones.
Yeah. By the way, Bbyong is definitely gearing up to hit this really scary push with Stim, Combat Shields, and Medivacs. With how fast he got Stim before he finished his factory, before he started his Hellion, so he should start Combat Shields right away, and he's going to have a decent amount of Hellion, Stim, Combat Shields, and that's going to be a very scary push for NesTea to deal with.
But NesTea is really in such a great shape. Yes, he's supply blocked now, which is of course really unfortunate, but look at this. The guy is up to 72 harvesters against 45. The economy and just the sheer amount of minerals per minute that he has and gas is insane. Yeah. He goes for +1/+1, and if he uses all the lava that he has available to get units out and plays a very cautious game now, he should be completely fine here. He gets more Zerglings, he has a very good creep spread. If those Hellions just dare to go onto creep, they will be surrounded within seconds. This is like crazy.
You're absolutely right, man. But here comes that push. NesTea needs a Baneling Nest. He's already started it, so he's already on the right path. But will he be able to hold this push? That's the question, because even with the Baneling Nest, you got to make sure you morph those. And in this position, Bbyong's rush distance, it's a decent amount, but it's not as far as cross positions, for example, on this map. NesTea needs to morph those Banelings immediately. He's making 18 lings right now.
He should be fine here. I mean, honestly, that looks really awesome from NesTea. And he even sends a few Zerglings down to the bottom because he wants to attack. He doesn't even run by. He just doesn't use those. Yeah. He has so many Zerglings already, and he gets 22 additional ones. He has 70 at the bottom left. We still have those Zerglings attacking, and here comes the attack by Bbyong immediately. NesTea, he is ready. He pulls the drones away. Here come the Banelings. They say hi, and they detonate into the Marines and also the Hellions.
A great detonation there, and NesTea holds the flying colors. And like you said, he wants to go for the attack, and the lair tech finishes, allowing him to block that hatchery with the Overlord. NesTea made just enough lings. He's got 62 now, not only to defend but also to attack, like you said. And I'm actually really impressed by NesTea's ability to play this greedily and then have that timing ready.
NesTea is, I mean, this is epic. He has +2/+2 now in his way. He has everything ready. Yeah, Bbyong uses the Medivacs now to make him move from the left to the right, but still, there's not a lot of damage done. Harvesters killed in total 8 in the game. NesTea is completely fine with this. He still has 66 against 55. He has this third base. NesTea is really showing Bbyong how it's done.
NesTea is up 55 supply. The hatchery is up. It's been up for a long time. He can make a 4th base if he wants. He has the macro hatch up. He's not concerned at home. He's going to go for a big attack here. Even with siege tanks, this is going to be pretty tough for Bbyong to hold, but you got to make sure that he goes to the Banelings in to break the wall. He's kind of messing up his micro a little bit here.
But now he is good to go. He surrounds those siege tanks immediately, and there's not a lot for Bbyong to defend at home.
Yeah, he has to bring his lings back for a little bit here. Now he can go for the surround. He's killed several depots. There's no real defense here for Bbyong. He has that one bunker. That's all he can rely on. NesTea says, all right, this is a decent trade. Maybe I go home. He's waiting for the Marines to come out so he can trap them, but he doesn't want to fight near that bunker.
The Baneling!
Oh, that could have been a lot better.
Yeah, the Baneling could have been a lot better here for him. 13 additional drones. NesTea is going up to 77 harvesters again. +2/+2 on its way. And he could even expand again, take a 4th year. So many units is going into the Spire right now. I have to say that NesTea is really playing impressive in this game, even though the last attack was not the best. He could have done way more damage here.
Very true, but so far his build and how he executes it in his transitions seem almost flawless. His timings for when he builds his units are great. He's consistently been able to keep Bbyong's command center in the sky rather than down mining where he wants it to be. 4th base coming up for NesTea at the perfect location, far away from his opponent. Really easy for him to defend. NesTea almost had 2-2 there, and I think he thought maybe he could take it, but he turns it around knowing that, well, 2-2, I should probably wait for that before I try to trade against Marines like this. This is really good play from NesTea. And Bbyong, I have to say, though, with the solid defense, it just feels like he is playing against somebody he didn't expect to be playing at this level. With the way he moved out and tried to hit that Hellion push, and NesTea just totally bopped him like it was nothing.
This is years of experience crushing down on Bbyong right now. In game number 1, the Terran player really gave NesTea something to think about with his double barracks opening. NesTea didn't stand a chance against that. But now in game number 2 in a big map like Whirlwind, NesTea's experience really shows through. He is doing an amazing job here.
Yeah. And NesTea, of course, gonna lose some queens in the middle of the map because he was not paying attention to that drop. But Bbyong is going to get out with most of these units. Not a terrible trade there. I mean, yeah, he lost a few Marines that he probably shouldn't have, but he killed a lot of creep, and he killed those queens, denying the creep from further spreading.
13 Mutalisks, 16 Mutalisks, 19 Mutalisks, and +1 attack.
NesTea's the Muta guy, man.
Guess who's not ready for Mutalisks right now?
That would be Bbyong, I think. Does not really have any turrets in place. He will have 2-2 for his Marines.
He has 1, that's all that he has.
That Spinecrawler is a bit desperate, but he will actually clean this up, I feel, with the 2-2 Lings against 1-1 Marines.
And the Mutalisks already, a small amount of them already at the bottom right. Oh, wow. Did he actually know about them? Did you see them?
Yeah, it looks like he must have.
But NesTea's like, what, you have 5 Marines? Oh, wow. What's that going to do?
He's actually just going to fight them as they spawn here.
Yeah, and why not?
You know, in StarCraft 2, when you rally a unit, it's not automatically attacked. That used to be the case in the beta, but they changed that in a patch. And 16 drones going down for NesTea right now. It's going to put it up to 96 with the Hive coming out. Probably going to make a lot of Spinecrawlers out of these. It's already starting some spines right now.
Well, we saw once more on screen those Mutalisks that are still at the rally point. He didn't use them with the rest of his army. I like that Bbyong reacts immediately and builds this one ploy. He realizes, well, my opponent is so far ahead of me in economy, he can just go for a huge Mutalisk count right now, and I might not be ready. So I definitely need now a few Thors just to be able to zone out these Mutalisks when they come into my main base. That's what he does. So the perfect reaction by Bbyong. And Bbyong heading into +3/+3 now.
Yeah.
This guy is no pushover.
Yeah, no
this
pushover
guy
on the upgrades.
Really strong, and with heavy upgraded Marines, he can do a lot of damage.
Yeah, without that Hive, he knows he's pushing ahead in 3-3. He was behind in 2-2, but now his 3-3's ahead. You saw that Medevac thought maybe there was a Hive going down, so he scanned, he verified, he's like, oh, that is in fact a Hive. I gotta be ready for this. I already know there are mutas out on the map, so I need to be preparing for Greater Spire Tech, most likely. Here we go. There's not a ton of Banelings in this mix, so I'm not sure if he can actually fight this just yet, NesTea, that is.
The siege tanks are completely exposed, and they are immediately surrounded by those, by the Zerglings. He should not attack into these guys, though.
Yeah, that was not the best trade with the Lings, but he did get the siege tanks for free, so I guess at the end of the day, it was a fairly even trade for both sides, but you know, a bit of a pathing mistake by Bbyong. Had those siege tanks been behind the army, he would have been totally fine.
NesTea, the one thing that I'm always a little bit concerned of when I see NesTea, what was that game that we cast? Was that against Sparta when he really dominated the game, and then suddenly, it was on this map, he played against the Terran, and he dominated the early game. It was like
late game.
It was like we were just waiting for the GG, but in the late game suddenly, NesTea donated Mutalisks to the left, Zerglings to the right, a couple of Ultimates just sending them over to his opponent's base, and kind of gave the game away. I'm afraid this might happen again.
It may happen again. You know, it's really hard to keep up with your mechanics when you're, I mean, in a situation like NesTea is. Hold that thought, though. There should be enough Banelings here to defend, or at least buy time here. The rest of the Banelings are actually, though, out of position. Looks like he's going to counterattack rather than save his base. His drones are running away.
Yeah, he doesn't really want to save it. It's a little bit too far away. He wants to go for it, or so it looks. But will he?
He's going to catch some of these units here for free on, on Rally.
Oh, look at that. Christmas come early. It's the 24th already.
This drop is going to be easily shut down by the Lings in the main base, especially since Adrenal Gland's about to finish. Uh-oh, Spore Crawler.
Yeah, but no. Doesn't survive.
Nope.
Here comes the attack at the third, and now
so many Banelings. Color, he has 50 Banelings. Here they come. He's actually just going to run them over these units. Doesn't matter to him.
Wow, I am. I don't know if I want to say shocked or impressed. Using the Banelings only to defend against siege tanks and Thors. Not the most cost-efficient trade.
Yeah, but you know, it turns out that it worked out okay for him as far as defending the attack went. He wanted that hatchery. He needed it. He's had so much mining at that fourth. He had so many drones, 96 drones at the time. The Ultralists are coming out here. I don't think this is what Bbyong expected, but he's already started to prepare now that he's seen them. He's making Marauders. But NesTea at this point, his creep spread still holds strong.
Oh man, I'm dying. But I can tell you one thing, if I can finish the best of 3 between NesTea and Bbyong, I at least die happy.
Very true.
4th base now going on for NesTea once again. +3 for him is done. His plating is also finished, or will in just a second. His upgrades are nearly maxed out, and we have him now with the Ultralisk. He goes into the Greater Spire. NesTea still has those 200 supply, and he has that bank.
Yes, he does, and the bank is building still. This is actually a late game scenario that we see oftentimes in this matchup. This Terran player with a lot of gas but not a lot of minerals.
And NesTea even has a base to the right side of the map, so this is a scenario where Bbyong will definitely run out of money at some point. And look at the creep spread, it actually touches the 3rd base of Bbyong.
Counter, we have not seen any investors as well. Think about that.
Well, nobody told NesTea that these guys are good, and he always said that he usually goes for the Muta build, and that's what he does.
He's
he
like,
gets in Pathogen Glance right now, but he doesn't need them.
He's like, when I practice, I use investors. My coach is always telling me, but when I sit in that booth, I'm like, I don't care what Coach Kang says. I'm actually just going to make Mutas, Ultralisks, and Banelings. But yeah, you're right. Greater Spire finishing up, the Pathogen Glands are coming up, but he doesn't need them just now.
Yeah, NesTea's like, I heard that investors make the game easier for you.
I don't need it.
I don't want that.
Here we go. This is a pretty big engagement, but the Ultralisk getting a little bit clumped up. The Baneling hits are decent, though.
The Ultralisk actually without the investors here. Not a lot of micro from Bbyong, not a lot of dodging that we see here.
Yeah.
He loses so much. The Mutalisk going to town at the 3rd base. And where is Byong's army?
It looks like it's pretty dead, man. NesTea now more than doubling him here.
He's at 185 against 114. Lings are coming in. Mutalisks everywhere. This is the Swarm Baby. He is going to town. We have him at the 3rd, at the 4th. NesTea is certainly pushing the buttons.
Yeah, he's pushing all of Bbyong's buttons, and Bbyong is not too happy about the results here. He's making mostly Marauders right now with the few minerals he has because he has to deal with Ultralisks, but at the same time, he needs some Marines to deal with those Mutalisks. 17 Banelings on the way for NesTea. He can easily afford it. Uh-oh, this base, though, is in a little bit of trouble. NesTea not having his army nearby. He's trying to send his Lings back. Will they be back in time? I think they just very well might be.
Yeah, the Jones are trying to just delay it a little bit, but here come the Zerglings, and of course, this one Medivac is ready. Where are the Mutalisks, though? There they are. The task force is present and can't. Bye-bye, Medivac.
NesTea's starting to get a little bit drone light, down to 64. He actually went back up to 72. He's been making a lot of spines, and also he lost a few drones in these engagements. He actually fought against Bbyong's drop with drones, so that's very scary. You got to be careful about that.
NesTea at 5 bases now, moving in again, trying to trap these units.
Yeah, he gets the trap off. He doesn't need infestors. He's got speedlings.
And yes, Mutalisks and Ultralisk, and he's going in, taking down tank after tank, moving into this planetary. And if he can take that one planetary down, then suddenly Bbyong will have nearly no income anymore. There are Ultralisks everywhere, and now he's trying to go for it and finish the rest of the forces of the Terran player.
Yep, Marauders coming in here to lead the charge. He doesn't have enough Marines for anti-air for the Mutas. He needs to repair that planetary. He's trying. It looks like maybe there's enough Marines for the Mutas. Planetary falls, though.
The planetary is dead, and so are most of the SCVs, or will be in just a few seconds. Reinforcements for Bbyong are streaming in. He drops below 100 supply already. His harvest account is down to 31. Oh my god.
NesTea is trading his Ultralisk here. He just wants to take out as many units as possible. He's got the bank. He can remax. He's switching into Broodlords right now, knowing that Bbyong cannot afford a Viking transition, not after losing that very important 4th base.
No minerals left at the natural of Bbyong, none in his main base, only a few at his 3rd, and NesTea being on 5 bases and mining like a boss.
Mining like a boss, indeed. And this is scary for Bbyong. It looks like he's going to have to hope for the best. He sent his main over to that 4th base location to remain mining. And he's using the drop, knowing he killed all those Mutalisks. He's not really afraid of the Mutas anymore, shutting down his drops.
He's going into Broodlords, and well, what is Bbyong going to do? Suddenly build Vikings? He's like, what?
No, you can't afford that, man.
Yeah, how would he build Vikings? He has no chance to build Vikings, and now NesTea builds a few infestors to back them up. He is at 160 supply against 100. All these bases that he has, and this is just the last wave that he's going to send over to the bottom right. He is going to murder Bbyong.
Yep, it's not going to be pretty. He is down at 70 supply right now, and there's a drop to the top left, but enough spines, I think, have been made there to buy the time that NesTea needs to send a group of Lings over to defend.
And well, here come the Broodlords, and what are you going to do, Bbyong? Banelings, bomb, take down his job. at the bottom. The Broodlords under a little bit of pressure here, but stim after stim has to be used by the Marines, and those medivacs, they don't have endless energy.
That's very true, and the Broodlords can just hover over here with no Vikings out on the map to deal with them. They can just hover, start to damage these units, use those Broodlings to be annoying. He's going to eventually start taking out these SCVs.
Yeah. He's doing a really good job with them, and moving back again, but the Marines starting in, another wave moves in, poking away at those units, whittling away at the army numbers of Bbyong, and at the same time just building up his army again at home. Bbyong has to lift this command center again, and he does not have any mining now.
None at all. Uh-oh, here we go though, more Banelings rolling into the other side, a great fumble, and Bbyong is down for the count. GG!
NesTea, man.
Wow. Well, indeed, he ties up the series, and I think we may be seeing why Bbyong wanted to 2x in game number 1. He did not want to see the Swarm. He did not want to see a late game NesTea.
Grandpa Zerg is showing Bbyong how it's done.
Bbyong not looking so happy.
Nope. Man, I want to know what map 3 is. I want to know it right now. That was like, whoa.
And coach comes in, he's like, I told you to make infestors earlier, and NesTea's like, I did make them at the end, it's okay. I got that great fungal.
I made 4, I didn't use them, but I made them.
Everybody was screaming when I got that one fungal off, just calm down. I know infestors are really hip right now, everyone's talking about them. I know I'm going to get more press results if I use the infestors, but
I don't like them.
I like those flying ones, the ones that can shoot air and ground and don't need energy.
Isn't that what they call patchwork style? I don't want to use that.
Yeah, I don't like that. You know, people saw I was slumping, then I suddenly used the infestor, people were like, oh, it's because of infestors. I don't want that.
That was an awesome game. I can't wait for game number 3. And Tomb Valley is going to be the map, and that could make up for a very, very cool game.
It could also mean that we see another 2-Rax.
Yeah.
This would be a great map for it, I feel.
That is the chance for Bbyong, or he will just show us a completely different macro game. This guy is good. I mean, NesTea really took him apart in the last game, but Bbyong is an amazing player, also in the macro game. So NesTea is not going to take this lightly. This is the one game that both of them want to win. They want to go into the round 3.
This is not going to be a map where NesTea can play that same style he played last game on, though, for sure. A little bit tougher to actually go double hatch for a pool. Really hard to drone up as well. He doesn't have enough space to work with to play like that. This is a smaller map. It's in Tomb Valley. This is the final map between Bbyong and NesTea here at the GSL Code A with Caldor and Wolf.